right. We're recording.
All right.
Madeleine, correct?
Yes.
Fine. Although what I understand is that it's the French spelling, and I always want to say Madeleine when I talk about the books.
Yeah, that's a common misconception that a lot of people talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's actually Madeleine. Yeah.
Did you ever read those books when you were little?
No.
Only 15.
Funny enough, I actually hated those books because everybody thought it was Madeline, and they always compared my name to it. So I never read them because I just didn't like them.
You didn't like how they. That's right.
Yeah.
So for the record, it's Madeleine, and is your middle name Elizabeth? Is that why the name?
It is.
Okay. Yeah. Mine is too. So we have that in common.
Oh, cool. Cool.
And I don't think there's any other way to spell that, so we can't mix that up.
No. Yeah.
Well, I suppose there is with S's and things, but anyway.
Yeah, true.
Madeleine, I am so excited to talk to you today because
it's nice to meet you.
Thank you. I mentioned to you earlier, we haven't had the chance to officially meet in person because I know you were at Market, let's see, so was it the 2019 Dallas? Is that?
Yes. Yeah, 2019 Dallas.
And was that your first market that you attended?
So I was distributed by a different needlepoint company, Oasis. I was distributed through them during the spring market in March. So I started there, and then we decided to separate and go off on our own. And then the Dallas was my first solo show. Yeah.
Very good. Well, it's funny you say Oasis because actually now that you say that, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that it was through your mutual local needlepoint shop that the two of you met.
Yes.
I am
because her mom is the owner, and my mom worked there.
Very good. So, and why am I missing her name? Is it Stephanie? Stephanie. Okay. So did Stephanie sort of help you get interested in painting canvas, or kind of talk about how that all started?
Yeah. So it started when I was probably 9. My mom worked at a yarn shop, and they just started carrying needlepoint, and Miss Vicky was helping out on the needlepoint side of the shop and working on that side, and eventually she bought the store and the needlepoint side of the store. Mm-hmm. And I was always helping on the needlepoint side. I would pull threads for ladies. I would pull canvases. I would help them with stitches. And it was funny because whenever a lady would walk in, I would be the only one on the needlepoint side of the store, and I was 9, 10, 11, and they would say, is there an adult that can help me? And I would go get my mom.
Tell you.
Yeah, I would go get my mom on the other side, and then my mom would hand them right back off to me to help them, which I always thought was kind of funny because then their faces were always shocked and they were almost embarrassed that they had to ask for another that they underestimated, but it was always funny to me.
That's really amazing. So if you think you were 9 or 10 when you were helping on the floor, how old were you when you started stitching?
Stitching 9 as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you just picked up on it really quickly and started working in the shop?
Yeah. So I probably started stitching when I was 9, and I probably actually started helping people when I was probably 10, 11, and so on. So.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, so you started stitching when you were 9. Did you also start painting right away? Did you say, I think I can do this, or?
No, I wasn't even like painting regularly, like on just like canvas or like watercolor or anything like that. I probably didn't start really getting into art till around 2016, which I was probably then 11 or 12.
Okay.
And then I probably started painting on needlepoint canvas around 14 because I wanted to just try another medium, because I always like to try different things like painting on wood or watercolor. And so I just wanted to try a new thing. And then Stephanie thought, well, maybe we can start a line. So
that's great. So I'm looking behind you, and so painting. I'm guessing that you put the paint on the wall there.
Yeah.
Is that a song? Is it a poem?
Yeah. It's a song. It's Good as Gold by Moon Taxi.
All right.
So it was a song that I liked at the time. Not sure. Been thinking about maybe redoing it. I haven't brought it up with my parents yet, because we'd have to totally. I like to redo stuff a lot.
Everything down, repaint the whole wall. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like to start projects a lot.
Well, I have to say, your parents are obviously cooler than mine, because mine would never have let me paint a wall in my house. So that's pretty
well.
Awesome.
It took some convincing. I had to make a PowerPoint presentation.
No way.
Yeah, I made a PowerPoint presentation to let me move in to my brother's room and move him to the guest room.
So now, so your brother doesn't live in the house anymore, or
he just graduated college.
Okay.
So he was at college, so he was barely here. So I was like, he can move to the guest room, and then I'll take his room. And he's moving to Dallas. We're moving him out actually this weekend. So.
Right. I think your mom mentioned that. That's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, well, pretty soon you're going to be sort of like the princess of the house then. And so maybe you could take over his other room too, right?
Yeah. Well,
or not.
It's always possible. Or the upstairs. Who knows?
How cute. So, so you started painting canvas, like
needlepoint canvas.
But flat. So you were painting on other types of mediums first, and then.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So talk about your process. So do you sketch something out? Do you paint it on actual like paper or wood first, or like sort of how do you manage?
For needlepoint?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it kind of, it varies depending on the canvas. If I just want to paint a needlepoint canvas, I might just cut a random size and paint a color down, and then I might pick an animal and I'll paint animals. So that's where you'll get my peacock canvas or my flamingo, those animal canvases where it's just them. And then you'll get the ones where it's more thought out. So for example, my uncle has or used to have bees, like he would be a beekeeper.
Okay, beekeeper,
So a lot of the times I'll sketch out something on my iPad.
Oh,
and
cool.
so I had my mom had taken a picture of the inside of one of the beehives, and the actual like honeycombs,
the comb,
they're not all one color. They're all like different colors. Like I think it's from like the different areas of like pollen.
The pollen.
And so I sketched it out on my iPad, and then I painted it on canvas. And my mom actually just stitched this. I don't know if you can see it.
Wow, I was trying to look at the hive is amazing, and
yeah, it's actually it's padded. So
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so this is really cool. She did a great job.
So that's completed. That's amazing.
Yeah, this is done. We'll have it hopefully finished for market.
So tell me, so let me. Sorry, I'm being a little dense. So you saw the photo. You thought the photo was.
Yes.
Cool. You went to your iPad and you sort of sketched it out on your iPad.
Yeah.
Then do you trace it, like the needlepoint canvas on top of the iPad?
No, I actually, I'll have my iPad sitting up, and then I'll just paint it onto the canvas.
Kind of translate it as you're looking at the painting.
Yeah.
Very cool. So is your first round of painting stitch painted? Like, do you look at each intersection, or do you just kind of trace it out first?
So since I started painting on just like regular like painting canvas,
yes.
I'm still used to that style where I go in and paint.
Or brush stroke style kind of.
Yeah, with brush strokes, but I'll use obviously less paint so I don't fill in the holes. And if I do, I just stab at it till they're gone.
Yeah.
And so I'll paint the canvas, and then I'll go back in and I'll clean up all of the outside lines and make sure it's on a thread, but that it'll still have a curve to it so it looks nice on the canvas.
And then my guess is then that, like most designers, you create one, maybe you create two. So you stitch one, you create one, and then it goes to a painting service and they recreate it for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. So how many canvases are in your line right now? And first of all, I know that you had a grouping of canvases, and then you had a brand new launch that you were ready to bring out of Mexico. And my guess now is that you're working on Dallas.
Yes, I am.
Do that. So how many do you have in the line that you haven't launched yet?
That I haven't launched yet?
Excuse me, I'm sorry. So how many do you have in the line before you have Dallas campuses? I'm sorry.
So I have, I think, 88.
Wow.
So I had 38 when I got to Dallas, my first show, and then I added 50 for this March market. I painted 50.
That's amazing. Okay, so I want to just run through some of the designs because the ones that pop into my head are the animals in the boots, the welly boots.
Yes, I actually
darling
have those finished right here. We weren't able, since we didn't have market, I wasn't able obviously to show them except for on Instagram. But
oh, that's Missy.
Yeah.
That's your
yeah, this is Missy. Yeah. So I have.
Oh, I love it. What kind of a cord are you using on that? Is that just a string?
It was actually, it's pom-poms.
Cute. And so what about the hanger? Is it
the hanger? It's just almost like Kreinik, almost.
Oh, gotcha.
Like that kind of thing. And so we have the giraffe.
Oh.
We have the duck.
Oh, the duck. I have to say the duck might be my favorite. I think we had him. Yeah.
I think Missy might be my favorite, but I'm kind of biased.
Yeah, of course.
And so we have the
The
cat
elephant and then the kitty. Oh my God.
And the last one is the pig.
You know what? I love the pig too. I do.
Yeah.
You do.
The duck and the pig were my first ones that I did. I did those when I was still with Stephanie, and then I added the 4 more at my first Dallas show.
Gotcha. So, did you stitch all of those too, or did your mom stitch some of them?
We actually, I will say, we kind of cheated a little bit. We sent them out to get stitched.
That's okay. That's all right. You know what? There's not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, we don't. Because people say that I retired from stitching. I don't stitch as much as I used to because I have so much going on with school and now painting canvases, getting so many of those out. So I don't stitch too much anymore. But my mom does help out quite a lot with stitching, and we've sent out a few stuff, and a few of the ladies from the needlepoint shop, they like to help contribute. So they're stitching some stuff for me.
So I actually want to back up because I had in my note here, I totally forgot to mention. So you're a sophomore in high school. Well, so you're a rising junior?
Rising junior, yeah.
Okay, very good. So how did that look for you? Were you at home doing homeschool for the end of the school year?
Yeah, to March until the end of the school year. Yeah, I had all my exams were canceled. So I had no exams this year. The teachers are going to decide whether or not we pass. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I'll be passing, but So
are you so I apologize that it's been a minute since I've been in high school, but I'm trying to think of how that would work for you. So you've got your core classes, and then are you able to take some art classes in high school?
Yeah. So I have I actually take 2 art classes. So the advanced program at my school is called ACE. Okay. And so I take ACE art, and so they have basically where we do 10 poster board size pages where we have to fill it with art based on a theme. Wow. And so that's for the first semester. And then the second semester, we have to do 6 more pages on a theme that Cambridge gives us. Okay. And then our final exam for that is we have to do the final piece that takes up the whole page. And then normally that would get sent to Cambridge, and we'd be in a room for 15 hours spread over 3 days where we just work on the final, and that would be our exam. But since it was canceled, we just had to do it at home.
So what medium did you use? Was it paint?
So for my final for the second semester, I used a variety of different things. I used, cause my theme was dismantled. So actually I think I have it.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
If I can find it.
So what you're looking for is the piece that you submitted as your final project for this semester. Is that right?
Yeah. So this was it.
Oh my God.
It's actually, my theme was dismantled. So I did the, like letters you would find at a junkyard. Um,
Signs. And
yeah,
things.
so it's not my favorite, you know. I think at the end of it, I got slightly bored of the theme. I get, because we had to do so long,
So
like,
much.
yeah, so much, a whole semester of it, that you get a little bored with it. And that's why they always try to advise that you pick one that you're going to like. And of course, I go back and forth between a lot of things.
Well,
But I use watercolor, ink, and charcoal on this.
very cool. And that is that middle part collage work, or is that actually your?
So it's actually different. I use different papers. So this was black charcoal paper and I ripped them up. This was on like newsprint.
Very cool.
And then this was just on regular paper.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So, yeah.
So, you know, it's tough when you're 15 and to look at the future, but what are you aspiring to do? Are you aspiring to go to art school, or you're not sure yet?
You know, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to end up doing. Art school has definitely been the idea that I'll end up doing. But it's all up in the air right now.
Sure,
so.
and you probably feel like the rest of us do, that life feels a little up in the air right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to market. I don't know if I'm going to go to school in the fall. I don't know. So there's a lot of things. Has that kind of world of unknown inspired your art at all? Like, have you been doing a lot more when you've been home with quarantine?
I did at the very beginning, and then I got in a little bit of a burnt out stage with school, where I had a bunch of schoolwork. And then I went to North Carolina for a week for the first summer, so I did a bit of stuff there, not needlepoint, but just other art stuff,
Drawing and painting and things.
yeah. And so you know, now I did do about 10, I think, new needlepoint designs so far for Dallas. I've done about 10. So, yeah.
Well, so really quick. So one question I always like to ask is what inspires you? And it appears to me that nature inspires you a lot. Maybe the coastal life. I see a lot of waves.
Yeah, I like animals.
Yeah. So what about I'm sorry to say, I just saw, and maybe it was one of your designs for Dallas. It was the waves with there's a dolphin, and isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have those.
When you looked at me funny, I thought,
know
oh gosh, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But, so there's like
because I have a few waves canvases, but yeah, the wave animals, that one almost started by an accident, that series. So the whale was the first one, and I had originally just done a wave, and I was like, well, that kind of looks like a whale, so I added the fin, and then an eyelash, and it looked like a whale. So that's where that started.
So there's the dolphin, there's a dolphin, a whale,
and an octopus.
Octopus. Okay, I knew there. The octopus might be my favorite. He's pretty cool looking, and that wave just sort of.
That's interesting, because that's probably my least selling of the three.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and actually, the dolphin's an exclusive right now at Needlepoint Junction, so they have that right now.
Very cool. So I asked you this briefly, and you kind of mentioned it about the wall behind you, but so you're inspired by nature, and then do you listen to podcasts, or do you listen to music while you're painting, or how does that
it depends on the canvas. If I have to focus a lot, I'll listen to music in the background, and if it's not too mind busy, I guess, I watch TV shows on my iPad. I'm currently watching NCIS.
Oh, very good. That's intense.
Yeah, I like all those action like government type of shows. MacGyver is probably my favorite TV show.
MacGyver, the MacGyver,
yeah,
80s.
I watched all of the old one, and I'm watching the new one now as it comes out. So
funny. Oh, that's so funny. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
You touched on this quickly. What is your best seller in your line? Do you know?
My best seller is, I have it with me. It is the coneflower canvas.
Yes, that's beautiful with the bead.
See it? Yeah. So this is probably my best seller. My next best seller is the Paris canvas.
Have you been to Paris?
I have not. My mom has, and the funny story behind this canvas is, so my mom, she loves to give me ideas all the time. I probably hear it about 5 times a day. Oh, that would be a cool needlepoint canvas. So that would be a cool needlepoint canvas. And it's kind of been a inside joke in my family, because a lot of the times I'll be like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. And so we made a deal where she gets 1 canvas per market that I have to do even if I don't like it.
I love it.
And this was hers, and it ended up being one of the best sellers. So she likes to rub that in my face a few times.
I told you so.
And
now, the other one that kind of cracked me up in your line, excuse me for interrupting you, is the one that says something about cocktails. And I thought,
but first cocktails. I don't have that with me, but yeah, that's one of our most in the popular as well. Yeah.
And maybe that one was inspired by your mom too?
Yes. Right. Well, because I made the but first coffee first. And so we got a lot of requests, or like some jokes from people like, oh, I think but first cocktails is more like it. And so I was like, well, I might as well.
That's cute. That's really cute. It kind of made me giggle. So what is your worst seller? I always hate asking that, but there's always
my worst seller.
What's this that doesn't sell?
It's actually one of my favorite canvases, and it doesn't sell very well. It's this one.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, so
it's a cactus bunch, and it does not sell too much.
Isn't that funny? And you are not the first artist I've talked to who has said, this is one of my favorites, but it doesn't.
And this one I actually like even more than the cactus bunch, and it probably sold even less.
Oh, when it's a giraffe with the is it what are those trees called in Africa?
I am not sure.
There's a word for the tree. Acacia? Is that what is it? Anyway, I'll have to go.
Not sure. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite canvases because I like the shape of it, and I like the giraffe and how tall he is with the tree. But this one does not sell very well.
Oh man.
It sold a few times. But.
You also just alluded to it, but is that one would you say is your favorite, the giraffe?
It's one of my favorites. I'd say in with that one is Bruce, the blue parrot.
He's cute.
And I actually started stitching this one. Yeah, so I like his little fur up here.
Yes, I'm trying to see what are you stitching that in? What type of?
So it's, let's see, I'll turn it sideways to get it closer. But
yeah, it's really cool.
It's about I think I used a few different threads in this. I used in watercolors, I think. I took some strands out and I did like those fake bullion knots.
Yes, beautiful.
And then I did a few chain stitches in that. I did I think some of it's Gloriana with accentuate and bijou.
Great
in that.
idea.
Yeah. And then one of my other favorites that I have is the jungle.
Oh, and the sloth. Everybody loves sloth right now,
Yeah. So this one was first and then sometimes how I do my designs is I'll make a painting. I have a painting from a while ago, and I decided that I wanted on needlepoint canvas. And this was one of those.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
And those are all animals that you haven't seen in person, is my guess, right?
No, I have not.
It's kind of.
I get a lot of my reference photos from Pinterest. I'll look up the animals on there.
Kind of see what coloration they have and what
coloration, different positions they might be in. Yeah. Make sure I get the anatomy somewhat on point.
Very good. Very good. So what's on your desk right now? What are you painting right now? Or are you kind of in a lull? What's happening?
A sneak peek, I guess I can do that.
We love sneak peeks, always.
A canvas for Dallas.
It says how Happy cute. Camper. Oh, I love that.
And so it has I have a campfire for the C with the smoke. The tent for the A, some branches, a fishing pole, a tree, and some leaves for Happy Camper.
Love that. That's darling.
Yeah.
Very good.
So that's what's been in the
Do you
works.
mostly like to paint on 18 count mesh?
I did for the Dallas market, I probably had half and half, or no, sorry, the March market, I had half and half of 13 and 18, but at the beginning I was doing a lot of 18 count. Yeah, so that's the majority.
I interrupted you, but do you have another sneak on the floor over there for us?
I do not actually. We sent out a batch to the painters,
To be
so
painted.
those are gone.
Good for you. Good for you. So do you stitch anybody besides your own designs? I know you said you're kind of on a stitching hiatus, but before you started painting, what did you like to
Yeah,
stitch?
I have a few samples that I did. This I stitched for my mom, so it's all
cute.
beaded.
Oh my goodness.
So I did brick stitch beading on this. I think it was Voila was the designer.
Sure, that's beautiful.
And I was 10 when I stitched this.
Oh my gosh, with all those beads? Girl,
Yeah, it took me
you're
about the whole
savant.
summer. And I actually, I worked for this canvas. So the one dreaded project at the shop was the Krynic racks. We had gotten like a new shipment. So I had to redo all of the racks and redo the numbering. So this was my payment was the canvas, and I gave it to my mom for Christmas.
And anybody who's watching that's a shop owner is saying, when can you come to my store tracks for me? Because that is not an easy task.
Yeah, this was a Kelly Clark canvas.
Yes. Oh, look at those beads on that.
Yeah, so it's I looped beads.
Gosh, that's beautiful. Good
I
and
liked
you
Rebecca.
took to do all this?
The Miss Vicky, the owner of Needlepoint Studio, she helped me a lot with different stitches and everything like that. I liked Rebecca Wood as well, and so I did some off-canvas weaving for the stockings.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Well, girl, we got to get you through school and out of college so you can start traveling and teaching. And
yeah.
You really have a true talent.
Thank you.
I hope you pick up your stitching again soon because it's really beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I like to stitch my canvases to try and make sure I'm stitching or painting correctly. So I do pick it up every now and then. Yeah.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Really smart. So I had a couple of questions. I think you've pretty much answered all of the questions I had. I was curious kind of about what you thought about the future of your company, especially when you decide to go to college, and do you kind of thinking you want to still work with your mom to kind of keep it going as long as you can? And
yeah, I mean, hopefully by then I haven't chased her away with my she says I have her slave away at home while I'm at school. Yeah. I intend to keep it going. I don't plan on ending it anytime soon, that's for sure.
Good for you. Well, it's a delight to have you as a young mind in the industry, and thank you for being such a girl boss. You're very you're just a lovely young woman. So your parents are proud of you, and you're doing an awesome
Thank
job.
you.
So
yeah.
So I have just a quick little lightning round, and I was trying to think of what I could ask a 15-year-old that would be interesting, but sadly I'm so far removed from your life that I don't know that I have good ones. But I want to know, what is your favorite movie?
My favorite
You said MacGyver was your favorite TV show.
Yeah, so I like Mission Impossible movies, the Mission Impossible movies. I also like the TV show, the old TV show. So I like the new Mission Impossible movies. I like some of the Disney movies. I like Hercules a lot. Those are probably the ones that come to mind.
I like that. We're on a Moana kick at our house.
Yeah, I've seen that a few times.
Okay. In relation to one of your newer canvases that I adore and everybody should check it out is the ice cream cone.
Yeah.
I love that. So what's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Ice cream flavor. Right now, the big kick has been white chocolate raspberry.
Ooh.
It's sold at our big Olaf's right down the street. It's very, very good.
Good one. That's a good one. I would not have guessed that. And then I think I have this one answered, but stitching or painting?
Painting.
To do painting. I thought maybe.
Yeah, painting.
And then I just lost my train of thought. I had one more. Oh, favorite musical, like your favorite artist right now. Who are you listening to, music-wise?
I'm probably listening to. Ooh, that's a tough one. I do listen to a lot of different types of music.
So are you a
I listen to
Spotify girl or an Apple Music?
Spotify Premium.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I listen to some rap music. My mom might not like that, so I don't play that when she's there because she doesn't like it too much. But
That's okay.
I listen to some rap music, some pop music, a lot of different types of things. Yeah.
So you're
it's pretty much I like it or I don't. Country though, I don't like country.
Not a country music fan. You know, a little bit goes a long way in my world too. I understand.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to create a Spotify channel for us, or to listen to soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a real pleasure. Is there anything you want to tell us about that I haven't asked, or that we haven't talked about? Are we missing anything? I got to meet your puppies a second ago. Not everybody got to see your puppies. We had Missy and Henry.
They got kicked out of a room because they were stepping on all of the canvases. But they left. Yeah, I have Missy, the standard poodle, and Henry, he's a little Yorkie. So those are my pets. They're my babies.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that I have too much else. I mean, I appreciate coming on here. It was a blast to be on here with you.
Good. So, well, you're a sweetheart, and we appreciate it and everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. Keep the fresh spirit going, and we will talk to you again soon. I hope. Hopefully, I'll see you in Dallas.
All right. Yeah. Hopefully
That's right.
they have market.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. All right.
All right.
It was good to see you. Bye.